name is Carol Rosin. I'm an educator who became the first woman corporate manager of an aerospace company, Fairchild Industries. I'm a space and missile defense consultant. I've consulted to a number of companies, organizations, government departments, even the intelligence community. I was a consultant to TRW, working on the MX missile. So I was part of that strategy, which turned out to be a role model for how to sell space-based weapons to the public, the MX missile being yet another weapon system that we didn't need. And I founded the Institute for Security and Cooperation in Outer Space, a Washington, D.C. based think tank. I'm an author and have testified before the Congress, the President's Commission on Space, and to a number of committees of that kind of relevance. When I was a corporate manager of Fairchild Industries in 1974 through 77, I met the late Dr. Wernher von Braun in early 74. At that time, von Braun was dying of cancer, but he assured me that he would live a few more years in order to tell me about the game that was being played, that game being the effort to weaponize space, to control the Earth from space and space itself. Von Braun had a history of working with weapon systems and had escaped from Peenemünde to come to this country and landed as vice president of Fairchild Industries when I had met him. Von Braun's purpose in life during the last years of his life, his dying years, was to educate the public and decision makers about why space-based weapons are a dumb, dangerous, destabilizing, too costly, unnecessary, unworkable, undesirable idea, and about the alternatives that are available.
Well, the concept of a space force is not new. Plus, as a thing to do, we've done something like this before. You might remember, no, you wouldn't remember, but you might have read that during the Second World War, the Army had a branch of itself called the Army Air Force. And once we learned that this theater of operations, this sphere of operations had fundamentally different needs, different training, different technologies, different personnel required to operate in that space, if you will. The Air Force then split away from the Army and became its own branch. And so generally I'm not one to second guess generals, but the extent that if we make a space force, what I'd like to do is add a couple of things to its portfolio. For example, why don't you check out asteroids to see if one has our name on it? Why don't you check out asteroids to see if one has our name on it? Why don't you check out asteroids to see if one has our name on it and could render us extinct? And don't just tell us that we will become extinct, do something about it. Right now, there is no plan in place anywhere in the world to protect us against killer asteroids.
And the next enemy was asteroids. Now, at this point, he kind of chuckled the first time he said it. Asteroids, against asteroids, we're going to build space-based weapons. So
why don't you check out asteroids to see if one has our name on it? Why don't you check out asteroids to see if one has our name on it?
It was funny then. And the funniest one of all was against what he called aliens, extraterrestrials. That would be the final card. And over and over and over during the 4 years that I knew him and was giving his speeches for him, he would bring up that last card. And remember, Carol, the last card is the alien card. We're going to have to build space-based weapons against aliens. And all of it, he said, is a lie. A lie. I think I was too naive to know at that time the seriousness of the nature of the spin that was being put on the system. And now the pieces are starting to fall into place. We're building a space-based weapon system based on a premise that is a lie, a spin. And Wernher von Braun was trying to hint that to me back in the early 70s and right up until the moment when he died in 1977.
So people, I think, have conflated the concept of a UFO with whether we're visited by aliens. UFO means unidentified, flying object. Okay? This is a highly non-specific term.
Yeah.
It is so non-specific, it admits you don't know what you're looking at.
But what's driving that thing? It's not a space alien.
It's unidentified.
Okay.
So
That's not good enough.
Well, so the universe brims with mysteries. And so just because you don't know what it is you're looking at doesn't mean it's intelligent aliens visiting from another planet.
It was funny then. And the funniest one of all was against what he called aliens, extraterrestrials. That would be the final card.
America's vital interest in space lost out to special interests in Washington, except, of course, for the senators and congressmen here. They would never do it, right, Dana? But all of that is changing. We know that. My administration is reclaiming America's heritage as the world's greatest spacefaring nation. The essence of the American character is to explore new horizons and to tame new frontiers. But our destiny beyond the Earth is not only a matter of national identity, but a matter of national security. So important for our military, so important, and people don't talk about it. When it comes to defending America, it is not enough to merely have an American presence in space. We must have American dominance in space. So important. Very importantly, I'm hereby directing the Department of Defense and Pentagon to immediately begin the process necessary to establish a Space Force as the sixth branch.
Good morning. My name is Carol Rosin. In 1974, after being a sixth grade school teacher, I was introduced to the late Dr. Wernher von Braun in the U.S., the father of rocketry. In my first meeting with him, during that first 3.5 hours, he said to me, Carol, you will stop the weaponization of space. And I said, teachers don't stop until June. He said, no, you have to understand. This is February, and we have to prevent the weaponization of space because there is a lie being told to everyone. And then he would repeat to me over and over, and the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat.
So the universe brims with mysteries. And so just because you don't know what it is you're looking at doesn't mean it's intelligent aliens visiting from another planet.
And the last card would be the extraterrestrial threat.